Hello everyone, it's Yvonne here from the Aussie Goddess, here to do your What's Cracking for Tuesday the 23rd of October. Now there's a big full moon tomorrow, I think it's called a Hunter's Moon. So if any of you have any intentions that you want to put out there, need to clean your crystals, any of those things. I love full moons, I feel very energised by them. If you subscribe to my channel, I want to say a huge thank you, because I'm really loving having you all on board. And if you haven't yet, please join us. But if my readings don't resonate to you, there's no need to tell me. I always think the thumbs down's a bit silly too, but anyway, whatever floats your boat. Yeah, move on. Just better to look for another reader. And the other thing today, you know, it might not resonate, but then tomorrow it might. So, oh, I'm not shuffling in the picture. I'm in my dressing gown and I have a towel wrapped around my hair, so I'm looking very elegant this morning. And it's probably the one good thing about not showing my face. However, I can't do that forever. I realise that. I know I have to move things around so I can start doing things, because people ask me about, you know, doing a live reading. So I've told people I will, but I think it's best I wait till I get a few more viewers first. Trying to do a live with a couple of thousand people probably ain't going to cut it, so we'll get there. Okay, what's cracking for Tuesday? Very nice, people, very nice. So the Nine of Pentacles, this is the card of feeling independent, feeling, you know, you're dressed in finery, you're feeling, you know, sexy and gorgeous, and you're just tending your garden here, you're looking after yourself, you're enjoying your solitude. This is where you are at the moment. You know, the Nine of Pentacles is a card that sort of says that you're comfortable being on your own, in your own space at this time. I think that sometimes I look at this card and feel like sometimes people might be feeling a bit lonely. You know, it's not that they are worried about being alone, because I think they're two very different things. But sometimes I look at it and I think, yeah, she's got everything she wants. She's in her own element, you know, she's doing what she needs to do, and she's okay with that. I mean, she can obviously afford to buy herself what she wants. But there's always this tiny little overhanging here where I feel like, you know, she doesn't look extremely happy with her place, does she? She looks content, but I feel always like a little sad when I look at that card. Okay, maybe that's myself. Maybe I'm mirroring my feelings onto that, but let it go. Okay, so Four of Pentacles, talking about letting it go. So the Four of Pentacles is a card that talks about hanging on to something, and I always find I look straight to this, because I think whoever this is hanging on to stuff is actually protecting themselves, which is great. Now, you could be hanging on to money. This could be a financial reading, being we had the Nine of Pentacles up the front. It's a card of, you know, not being able to let go here. The Grim Reaper stands in the background, so it's sort of like, hey, come on, dude, you can't do this till you die, sort of thing. That's the feeling here. So this person could be hanging on to money, but something you're hanging on to that you need to let go of. It could be a person, it could be a situation, it could be anything here. But the universe is saying, let it go. And I do want to burst into song, but like a lot of other readers on here, I can't sing that well. Well, I can sing, but I can sing in a very Yvonne manner, not in a fantastic singer manner. Okay, so then we have the Devil card here. Now, the Devil card talks about obsession. It talks of ego, living from your ego, not living from your truth. It talks about codependency, can talk about lust. You know, and I look at this card here and I think there's something for someone here that talks about letting go of this. So for some of you, it's about letting go of your ego, letting go of what doesn't serve you anymore, letting go of the lust you have for someone. Whatever it is for you, it could be about letting codependency go, which is actually really, really good. They're all good. Believe me, they're all good. But letting go of codependency, letting go of ego, that's what we're supposed to be doing in this lifetime. So some of you may be working on some issues here still around hanging on to things that people have told you when you were young that you're still living your life by. My favourite one is people saying, oh, I'll never be rich, I'll never have much money, money just slips through my fingers and all these sort of things. And I think, my goodness gracious, that's why you don't have any money, because you completely programmed yourself to believe that you're not going to have anything. Watch your negative thoughts, people. Don't hang on to the negativity here. There's another one for you. Because that's what this is saying. You're hanging on to something and you're unable to move forward. Because in front of you, you have this. So the universe is trying to move you towards something very lucrative, beautiful, satisfying, and you're hanging on to something. You're hanging on, you could be hanging on to the past, but whatever it is here, you're hanging on very, very tightly. It's almost obsessively with this devil here. I was talking to someone the other day, because not only have I guess, been psychic for a really long time, I also study psychology. So a lot of the times when I read for people, I sort of take a little bit from both. And the one thing I always say to people, when they break up with someone, they hang on to them really, really tightly. They don't want to let them go because they fear if they let them go, that person's going to forget about them. And they don't realise, whether I look at it from a psychological point of view or whether I look at it from a psychic point of view, if you hang on to someone and you hang on to their energy, you will never get them back because they know that you're there. The only way to get someone back is by actually letting them go. That means understanding that you need to cut those ties and you need to move on with your life in order to make them miss you. Because if they can't feel your energy, then they will, and that all happens at a very subconscious level, whether you look at it from a practical perspective or a spiritual perspective. The idea is if you keep thinking about them, obsessing about them, and not able to let them go, thinking that somehow or another, thinking them to death is going to bring them back, I'm telling you they will never come back. You have to move on with your life. You have to put them behind you. And once they feel your energy's gone, you have a better chance of getting them back. But I say that to people and people don't listen, and they do it complete opposite, which is such a human thing and such an ego thing. And they don't realise that actually if they just let them go and got on with their own life, looked after themselves, worked on their fears, worked on everything that, that they feel they need to work on, chances are pretty good the person will come back to you. Okay, and then I have the Page of Swords here. So if this is about letting someone go, you could be spying on them. Because you're scared of letting up. Isn't it funny? I've just told that story and I'm thinking that for some of you out there, that is exactly what's going on. Because the feeling of spying on someone, I think that there's people out there waiting for someone to come back to make an apology or to cut to the chase or to clear the air. Because maybe this person, and we always talk about the ghosting thing, but maybe this person has not given you a reason or an idea for why they've left you. And the other thing too is, a lot of people ghost because they don't have the courage or the guts to tell someone they don't want to be with them anymore, which would be much better closure. But unfortunately, people don't want to hurt people or make them cry, so they just don't call or they just ignore them. It's happened to me a few times. And I always think, you could have just told me, I would have been okay with that. Like, you could have said, I don't want to be with you anymore, I want to move on, I want to find someone else. I would have been fine. But the very fact you don't tell someone leaves them in this state of suspended animation waiting for an answer, which of course is quite cruel, because not having the closure sometimes can make it hard to move on. Because then you start to question yourself instead of understanding it wasn't you, it was the other person. There is celebration here. Sorry, I'm rambling a bit this morning. I'm been in a bit of a rambly mood. The Three of Cups, celebration, something happening, something coming here. Because you're celebrating some sort of change here. My goodness, look, I've rambled for so long, I'm going to run my video too long. Okay, you've got some sort of celebration coming in. Why is there celebration? Because you really don't want this. You really don't want this cup. You're bored. You want to move on. Okay, all right, so I feel like you're so stuck in this past. You're so stuck in this past energy you're not letting go of. People are asking you to do things with them and you're not going out and you're not enjoying yourself because you're stuck in this past thing. You're hanging on to what happened in the past instead of moving back into life and letting life bring you what you need. That's a little tough. Okay, yeah, absolutely, because you're in this case, you're looking for some sort of enlightenment here. And when I was talking about ghosting, talking about moving on, very often when people do that to us, we tend to go inside to look at what's wrong with us. And of course, it's not us, it's the other person. If we could only get that in perspective, we would understand. But we don't. We question ourselves. Why wasn't I good enough? Why didn't I do this? What, should I have done this differently if I'd have been this person? No. If someone ghosts you or moves on and doesn't let you know why, that's their issue, not yours. And you need to get that very clear in your head. Because for some unknown reason, because of our low self-esteem, because of our egos, we question what we've done. It's not us, folks. It's the other person. Don't care what you say to me. So you've put yourself into some sort of place to look inside here because you actually know that you need to move forward. And you are moving forward here. So if you can let go of this, this situation, whatever's holding you back here, by going out, having a good time with your friends, you know, understanding this isn't your fault, this love you didn't have, then, you know, start thinking about just letting it go and moving forward. I'm going to get people come back at me and say, but I don't want to move forward. I know he's coming back and I don't want to move forward. I want to stay in my misery, and that's fine. If you want to do that, great. But I'm telling you here, the universe is saying if you learn to let go, we'll bring you better. And if it's better, it might be that person. But they may come back if you let them go. There was a saying about that, wasn't there? If you love someone, let them go. If they don't come back, they weren't yours to begin with. Something like that. Okay, so we have very fast forward movement here. And I like that because it feels to me like you are learning that you need to let go of this. And I like it. You are moving forward very quickly. There's also for people here going on holidays, because I have the Three of Wands here, which talks about traveling. And then I have this card here. So you could be traveling away at the moment. Like, go for it, guys. Go on a holiday. Get yourself away. Stop dwelling on that person and let it go. Or that situation. Because look at you here. I like it. I love how at the end here we get the Queen of Swords, because that says to me, look, she's ready to welcome in the new. Look at her arms. She's ready to welcome in the new, but she carries her sword with her so she can cut out what no longer serves her and move on with her life. Very nice. Now, somebody needed to hear that reading today. It was a pretty heavy one, but sorry, delivering the messages as I need to. And it's really funny because I've had this come up with a few people this week too, where they are unable to let go of people that they have loved because the other person hasn't given them a clear indication why they need to move on. I'm sorry, guys, but that's spirit just teaching you a lesson about yourself. That's a lesson about going deep inside and understanding why you're clinging on to the person. You need to let them go. You need to move out into your life and look after yourself. Develop yourself. Let go of the ego. Ooh. Okay, so I have discipline here, which talks about training, consistency, and practice. Still reading from the book. Okay, and it says you have the ability to create a program of change and stick to it. And after a period of time, it will transform from painful to pleasurable. The freedom and strength it affords you far outweigh the pain you've experienced in the short term. Perfect, Spirit. Thank you very much. I will read that again. You have the ability to create a program of change and stick to it. And after a period of time, it will transform from painful to pleasurable. The freedom and strength it affords you far outweigh the pain you experience in the short term. There you go, just backing me up again. Thanks, guys.